Hello and welcome. This is Alberto Marquez, and we are going to discuss here the material handling capabilities of Arena. This is version number 16, and we needed to do an update on where to find all these blocks that allow for the material handling modeling to be able to be executed. Let's first start with a simple model, the most simple of the models we can build, which will include create, and then process, and then dispose. Very good. We can include a CZLA release of a resource. Let's call this resource machine A. And we need one of those. When we go to the data definition, and if we go to resources, we can see that machine A has been created, and it's that by default it assumes that we have one of those machines. We can change that to have more than one machine if that would be the case in the model that we're creating. But at this moment, let's assume it's only one. And if we run it, it will run without a problem. Very good. Now, the material handling situation has to deal with the fact that entities travel through a different location or geography in the simulation. And for that, there are different ways to handle it. One of them is allowing the part or the entity to travel on its own through the system from one station to the next station. The stations are these locations that are defined, and inside the location there may be processes associated to it. This is all conceptual because actually there is no physical location assigned in Arena. What happens is that the entity has an attribute that indicates what's the current location. So it is a temporary value in the attribute station that allows for the entities to generate the statistics on how long a particle or an entity has been in a particular station, or how many entities are in a particular station, etc. Anyways, so let's make the assumption that as soon as the entity walks in the system, we're going to assign a station to it. In the discrete processing blocks, we have the station, and we can just send the part to the station. Since these connections are virtual connections, there is no time assumed of traveling from one to the next one. And as I said, this station, it's only assigning the value of the attribute in the entity. Let me show you. If we were to include an attribute, there are specific attributes that Arena has for our buildup of using the tools that Arena has. And one of them we have seen is sequence, and we will discuss that again. But there is another one that says the station. And that is simply because that way we know where the entity is. And that's all what this station block is doing, is actually assigning the value of that station to the attribute of the entity. So we enter into station by default, and then what we need to do is we need to travel from this station to the next one. And in order to do that, we're going to start using material handling. Here you see the last two options are the leave, which if we live in, say, this station, and we're going to arrive to the next station where the process actually takes place. So we can make the connections from process to dispose and from the enter to the next one. But if we use a connector between these two like this, it will take no time to travel from one station to another. And sometimes that's fine, but not all the time. So if we want to assume that an entity travels from one location to another location on its own, then this is the procedure we need to follow. First, we need to specify that in the transfer out, we don't need any of those, but what we need to do is, instead of using a connect, we're making a route. And in the route, we are selecting which is the next station. In this case, the station is enter to station. How do I know it's enter to station? Because here we have enter to and is the enter to station. And that's it. Now, see, there is no connecting node in the leave because it won't allow you to do the connect. The entity will travel from this point to the next one. It will not show as a connection or connector, but the entity nonetheless will take time to go from the first station to the second station. And then the rest of it is the same. We make the connections or the connectors. And one more thing is that if we're traveling over this route, it may take, if processing time is say 1 hour, this, since I'm not using any resource, it could take any time. It could be that it's a travel of 10 hours or maybe just half an hour. So we include that. And the model is ready to execute using route. There you go. Although we're not seeing the connection here, it's taking 30 minutes, half an hour to go for the parts to go from this leave to the enter. There is no, at this moment there is no animation, but we're going to discuss animations in another video. Thanks, and let me know what you think, and if you have questions, I'll be happy to answer. You guys have a wonderful day.